Hello, hello, Next Gen Collective, coming to you live again as we continue to honor Women's History Month by honoring the achievements of a new generation of professional women. I'm Suleidis, and today we have the pleasure of speaking with Vanessa Karel, founder and CEO of Greether. Did I say it right? Greether?
Greether.
Greether. She will share some insights on tips on traveling alone as a woman, including how to plan your trips, what resources to ensure your safety while traveling, and some of the benefits of solo traveling. Vanessa, thank you for joining us today. How's your week going so far?
Good. I'm pumped. I think last week was super energizing. I was in Mexico City during the March of 8M, and then we had a crazy event where we brought a lot of women together that love to travel. So I came back home really happy and energized and motivated to keep working.
That sounds exciting. I can't wait to hear about it later. So, Vanessa, I always ask, whenever I run into a Latina or Latino, I always ask a couple of questions just to see what kind of Latina or Latino they are. Are you ready for a rapid fire round?
Yeah, bring it on.
Okay. Tacos or tamales?
Tacos, 100,000%.
Ooh, I'm a tamales girl, but that's okay. All right, next question. Café con leche or cortadito?
Café con leche.
Same. Black beans or red beans?
Black beans.
Same. Empanada or pastelito?
Empanadas.
I'm a savory person myself also. Yeah. Vanessa, I want to talk to you a little bit about what inspired you to start traveling alone as a woman, and how did you even first start doing it? Why did you even?
Yeah, I think my parents, and they probably regretted it later on, but since I was little, they kept saying like, you should travel, before you do this, before you do that. And then I left home really young at 17 years old when, Mexican parents were freaking out. But I just wanted to explore my freedom, and I wanted to be independent since very little. And now I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I was so young. But I left home, Mexico City, to come to San Francisco for college. And then that kind of like sparked the initiative in my brain. Like, I want to travel to somewhere else. And I applied to an internship in Iceland. And I was the first country I traveled by myself to, which was crazy because it was a very interesting intro to traveling. I had the reverse cultural shock of, Iceland is one of the safest countries of the world, if not the safest. And growing up in Mexico, you're always like, who's behind me? Who's next to me? And in Iceland, it was completely the opposite feeling. And then I met a lot of people who were around my age or even younger that were already traveling nonstop on their own. And that started it. I was like, oh my God, I want to do that too. I want to meet other people from other cultures. And I took off.
Wow. Yeah, 17 is pretty young. Congrats. How do you plan your trips? What resources do you use to ensure that you're safe? Like you mentioned, some things like being safe is important. What do you do?
Yeah, I think the way I've traveled before to now has changed a lot. But when I began traveling solo, I will read a lot of blogs, and I would go and look at a lot of magazines, articles about it. But I started Greether after an experience that happened to me. And looking back now, I was choosing places where I thought I was going to be safe. But I always wanted to go to Egypt and Guatemala and Colombia, and I kept getting told by people like it's not safe for women on their own there. And I was just like, I don't want to wait for Prince Charming or for my friends to have money to travel with me or for someone to say, yeah, I'm coming with you. And so what I started doing was like entering a lot of like female travel communities and seeing that this phenomenon is everywhere and is exploding. And then I would just read how they do it, and then how like they were getting to from point A to point B, and just like asking people who already been there about how to like navigate that country. There's a few things that I do to try to maintain my safety if I'm traveling by myself. One of them being I try to always make sure that when I arrive, is during daytime, especially to a place I've never been to. And there's some other little things I do in regards to my accommodations. I try to book places in good neighborhoods, or like that have good reputation. And I don't like staying at first floors on hotels if I'm traveling by myself. So that those are kind of some tips that I always give female travelers.
Those are great tips. Thank you for that. Yeah, the one about arriving at daytime really resonates with me as well. What are some of the benefits of traveling alone versus traveling with someone else? How has that changed your perspective on how you travel or what you do in life?
Yeah, I think, I think I was born very independent, but by nature, and I'm very extroverted, so it's easy for me to talk to a tree. I have learned so much about myself, especially what I don't like, and
Hmm,
and to enjoy time on my own. I think it has helped me with personal relationships, work relationships, and it's great. Solo traveling is really good if you wanna strengthen your decision making skills, because you're making all the choices,
right.
and you have to be very flexible because so many things can come your way. Things work differently everywhere you go, but the same at the same time. It's kind of
True.
interesting. And in some cultures, what works home doesn't work there. So adaptability is one of the main things. But I think I have talked to a lot of solo female travelers, or like solo travelers in general, men as well. And
Right.
one of the benefits is that gain of confidence that you can do whatever you want on your own, not dependent on others. And I think more people should experience that.
I totally agree with you. So it sounds like you're pretty busy with Greet Her. How do you manage to stay sane and take care of yourself? What's your day self care like?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm fundraising right now, so my sanity is a little bit to the side right now. But I try to always come back and see all the progress I've done, and that always gets me excited. I also keep a rejection pile. Every time I get rejected on something, and that affects your mental well-being, I put it somewhere, so when have a win, I just look at that folder. I'm like, screw it, I'm doing it, and I'm very competitive, so that drives me. And
Hmm.
then I think I try to have fun during the weekends as much as I can, and I think that really helps me balance. And it's hard for me not to talk about work when you're so passionate about what you're building.
Yeah.
But I have tried my best to not bring it as much up with friends and family members, because honestly eventually they're just like don't care anymore.
I'm with you there. My wife sometimes is like, "All right, can you stop talking about work?"
Like,
So what are you mentioned the pile and not talking about work on the weekends. What are some hobbies or interests that make you that helps you unwind from your day to day?
yeah, I have a lot of random hobbies. Like I like embroidery, and then I love dancing flamenco when I have a chance.
Wow.
You can see peeking my my peloton here. So whenever I get the chance, I jump on it. I also have a cool treadmill that goes under my desk, and it keeps me so focused. I really recommend it. When I first saw it, I was like, that's gonna be distracting and noisy, but no, like I work so good, and at the same time, like I'm getting some steps in.
Right.
And I love reading and watching dumb TV when I have a chance.
Dumb TV. What kind of dumb TV?
Oh my god, I'm not gonna reveal this live.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, in honor of Women's History Month, if you had a chance to dine with an influential Latina, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Oh my god, that's a good one. Huh. I think I would love to have dinner with Frida Kahlo. I think
Ooh.
I'm an artist as well, and she was such a revolutionary, and like she would be so insanely hump to see what she became now, you know.
Mm.
And she suffers so much, but she still never stopped creating. And I think that just shows resilience, and I really resonate with that. Yeah, I would pick her for sure.
100%. We'll have a dinner party. Please invite me.
Oh yeah.
So, how can people find you besides here on LinkedIn?
Oh, DMs are open on Instagram, greether.com, or no, at greet.her. And
Okay.
I'm also on Twitter, the same handle. Here is my little bandana with greet her.
Love it.
Yes. And, our email is info at greether.com. And yeah, that you guys can find us there.
Okay, I will be putting all this information on the Discord later so that people can find you and easily look you up. This greet her sounds like such a great idea. I should have thought about it. So thank you so much, Vanessa, for joining us and giving us some of those very insightful tips about solo traveling. I will definitely be using Greet Her on my next solo travel. So thank you for creating it. Our next guest is Daisy Prado. She's a community advocate and feminist leader who champions women of color in San Francisco. So during our session, she'll share some of her experiences as a professional advocate for women. She'll talk about some of her most fulfilling moments during the job and offer advice to anyone who wants to pursue a career in public service, which we need those. Let's get ready for an enlightening conversation. Thank you, Vanessa, for joining us. And while you wait, join us on the Discord. We are sharing resources there. We're connecting with one another, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.